My name is Eric Shabazz, and you're listening to the Invisible Hand Podcast. The world's ran by human nature, self-interest, and power. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Invisible Hand Podcast. Today we're going to be doing a review of a fresh and fit clip of him debating a lady about polygamy and monogamy and how it's natural for men to do polygamy and it's pretty much required for women to do monogamy. Let's get right into the video.
Cat is trying to put a square peg in a round hole, saying my view is crazy, but it's actually based in biological fact and it's worked for millennia. And as a matter of fact, we have the society we have today because of polygamy to some degree. Monogamy as well, but monogamy for the man is a choice. Monogamy for the woman, it's pretty much necessary.
So, what facts do you have to say that polygamy works?
Since the beginning of time,
Men
high-value
have
men
multiple wives.
have had women.
But have
share
those
them.
women actually been happy? Like,
okay.
aren't we talking relationships on a basis
So,
of whether
Kat,
or not
that's
we're both happy?
irrelevant.
Cat, I'm gonna be
Irrelevant.
marriage?
I mean, I'm not gonna be sharing no man unless I'm happy.
Okay, Cat.
You know, I want to be happy. I want to be feeling like the attention's on me.
Okay, well, Kat, here's the thing. See, and I'm gonna show you how crazy your argument is here in a second. But marriage is not about necessarily happiness. It's about duty of raising children that are gonna be contributing members of society.
Right here, because he made several different claims that I want to address. So first of all, I'm just going to recap on the claims that he made. The first claim that Myron made was most human males throughout history have been polygamous. Okay, so I'm going to first address that. Yes, Myron is correct here. Most males have been polygamous throughout society, and there's a reason for that. Number one, back in the old days, back in the Stone Age, the main function of life for most human beings was hunting and gathering. Hunting food and surviving. The elements were hard to survive. Men's morality was different. So back then, a man would just kill a woman. Maybe he'll just hit a woman upside the head and take her to his cave and have sex with her, right? So it was a very, very harsh lifestyle back then. So the number one function of life was to survive. Well, back then, one of the number one functions of females was to survive. So back then, they were mainly focused on surviving. So if that meant a woman attaching herself to a man that has multiple women, so be it. They were willing to do it because their main goals were to survive. Their relationships wasn't based off of this ideal of love and affection and being happy and being fulfilled. It was about finding food, right? Reproducing, protecting yourself from the elements, and not dying early. So back then, throughout most of human history, males have been polygamous. And most women did attach themselves to males in order to maximize their survival. We're in a very young time in human history because of the rate of technological change that make us think that life has always been like this. And most of human history has not. Most of human history has not been male and females being monogamous only to each other. Most of human history wasn't even about male and females getting together because they're in love or they were happy. Most of it was about surviving, reproducing. It was a very crocodile urge-based life. We based it on were we hungry? Did we need to have sex? Did we need to protect ourselves from the elements? And so that's what Myron's trying to get her to understand, that you are talking like this stuff is natural. So when he brings up that men want more than one woman, she's saying, well, that's not normal. That's weird. Actually, it's quite natural. And we've been doing it throughout entire human history. He makes a second claim that I want to address here, and Myron says monogamy for the man is a choice and monogamy for a woman is required or a necessity. What does he mean by that? Again, he's referring to the biological imperative and throughout human history. Throughout human history, women connected themselves to a male to protect themselves from the environment, but also from other aggressive males. You have to understand, back then, males didn't have the morality they have today. Back then, there was no government, there were no laws, there was no police. So if a male decided to do something bad to a female, physically, she couldn't do anything about it. So her best bet back then was to align herself with the strongest male. So if that strongest male had 10 women, it didn't matter. Her main goal was to be protected, not to be in a loving relationship. So that's what Myron's trying to remind her, that males throughout human history were the people providing the protection. So we don't necessarily have to connect ourselves to a woman through monogamy to be safe. But he's saying that for the most part, women do. Now, let's fast forward to 2022. This is a modern society. There's police, there's governments, there's laws, there's cameras. If a man attack a woman today, she can call the cops. However, I want to keep one thing in mind. When that cop show up, if it's a female, technically that man can overpower that female cop. So ultimately, if a male decided to do something to a female physically, she couldn't do nothing about it, even today in 2022. So technically, a woman individually cannot protect herself against a male. So what do we have? We have modern conveniences, modern conventions like the police. Another male can come protect the female from the male. As you can see in this example, still the female cannot protect herself from the male. And so what he's saying is, because the female physically can't protect herself from the male, it is the optimum strategy for a woman to be in a monogamous, committed relationship where that man is willing to protect her from other males. And that's why he's saying for females, monogamy is required. So when you dig into it from a biological level, he's right. I'll give you another example. If a female stayed single her entire life, from 0 all the way up to 85 when she died, it won't be a quite comfortable life for her. When she go places at night, she can't necessarily walk around by herself. If other males are harassing her and she doesn't have a brother or a friend, she can't really get them off of her. If she's single, there's men's always hitting on her. I mean, you have to understand, when a woman say, I'm married, I'm taken, I'm spoken for, what she's really saying is, don't bother me again, otherwise a male is gonna address you about this. So there is a level of security, even in the modern world, that women get by aligning themselves with a male. And that goes back to Myron's point. Monogamy benefits women most, but men technically don't need it because we don't necessarily need security from other males. Now, I'm gonna address this one more part and then I'm gonna go ahead and let you see the rest of the video. He also pushed back on her when she says, well, I don't like polygamous relationship. It doesn't make me happy. I don't want to share my guy. And he's saying, well, that's not really true. Women did it throughout entire human history. So how can you say that you're not willing to do it? I think one of the problems is we have advanced technology in society so much to the point where our Maslow hierarchy of needs are met. Survival, food, all that stuff, where now all we do is focus on the top person, the portion of the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Am I fulfilled? Am I happy? And the problem with that is most of human history, when it came to male and female relationships, wasn't about love and happiness. It was about reproducing and survival. And what this society has created today is a lot of people only involved, only in it for happiness and fulfillment, and are not willing to do any hard work. That's why the relationships fall apart, because the relationship is based on the ideal of love and being happy. And human beings are never necessarily optimized long-term to be happy. We're always fluctuating. So we have to restructure how we see relationships and make them more about duty and doing the righteous thing and creating a legacy and building for the future and passing on and giving back before we're gone. And that's a duty. And so if we change our mindsets about male and female relationships and be more serious about them, we won't be so fickle and have these fickle ideals. And I think that's a lot of what Myron's addressing in this video. So let's go ahead and continue.
That's what marriage is about.
That's
Only in the
old school.
West. Okay, only in the West do we have this crazy concept that we need to be happy at all times within marriage. Raising your children in a stable household and giving them food to eat and a safe home to be at should be where you derive your happiness. And when you break the family apart, which is what's going on in the West, single mother households, etc., things get fucked up and kids end up fucked up.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, going back to what you said you want a man that makes $300,000 to $500,000 a year, is going to basically never say no to you and let you
I'm
live
not
the
saying
lifestyle
he
that
doesn't
you
have
want.
to say no. I'm saying my lifestyle is never going to allow me to say no to myself.
Okay. The point I'm trying to make is this. I'm just giving you your standards, right? You want a guy, pretty much the man you described as a 1% man. Now, I did not challenge you on your preference. I said you have your preferences.
I'm
All I
also a
gave you-
1% woman.
Okay, let me finish my point, and then I will give you in a second why that is irrelevant from what you're saying. So you want a 1% man, okay? You want a man that makes a lot of money, successful, ambitious, can provide you a certain lifestyle. I countered and said, you can want that, but the consequence of dealing with this caliber of man, who's rare, is you're gonna have to share him. Okay? You don't like that. You want him to be exclusive to you. So you're hoping that you'll find one that's going to meet these requirements, which quite frankly is slim to none.
Basically, we heard this before. Basically, what he's letting her know is a 1% woman does not exist until she's with a 1% man. So basically, she makes the claim that I'm a 1% woman and I deserve a 1% man. And when I do get that 1% man, he's going to be monogamous to me. And so here's the number one thing I think women need to understand. And it goes back to what I said earlier. Women assume that our goals are the same as theirs. You're seeking a partner and want to be monogamous. If most men had their choice, they prefer to not be tied down to one woman, or if they are, they want to have the option to sleep with other women. So the reality is, most successful men, a lot of men actually seek success for they can get access to more women. So this ideal that we are the same is the big problem with women. And the reason that they don't know what men want is because of biology. It's really not even their fault. The way biology was set up is women are the selectors. That means that they sit back and say, no, 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 yes, no, 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 maybe, yes. So they don't actually have to approach men. Approach women. When you're approaching women, what does that mean? You're selling to them. You're selling yourself. In order to sell somebody, you have to know your audience. So men have to study women and learn what they want, what they like, how they think. And so we understand women, we understand what their desires are. Otherwise, we would never get them. However, a woman doesn't have to pursue a man. Because she doesn't have to pursue a man, she don't have to learn what we want, what we care about. So when you finally put them on these shows, especially these young women, they have no idea what a man actually wants. And so when they make these statements like, I make $1 million, I want a man who makes $1 million. They don't realize that a man who makes $1 million, who grinded very hard to be successful, is the exact type of man who's a dominant go-getter who wants more than one woman. You're literally going after a man who wants the opposite of what you want, and they have no clue that they're doing that. And Myron's telling them that's what you're doing. It's not a smart strategy to go seek something and be blind about what you're going to get. And that's what happens. A lot of these women go hook up with these high value men, these successful men, these millionaires, and they get cheated on all day long and want to say that all men are dogs. No, you just have no idea what men actually want. And that's pretty much all to it. Anyways, my name is Arif Shabazz. This has been the Invisible Hand Podcast. React. Till next time, my friends. Hey guys, we're going to do a quick word from our sponsors. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be right back. The future of legal betting is finally here. Place a bet using Bitcoin right over the phone. Unlike traditional gambling sites, every bet you make with us is guaranteed a 50% probability of winning. All of our bets are one-on-one against a real person and never the house. We offer some of the most unique bets in the industry. Bets like, will LeBron James win his 5th NBA title? Will Joe Biden be elected for a second term? Will Tesla be worth $1 trillion by the end of 2022? You can bet on if it'll rain tomorrow. You can literally bet on any future event. Text the phrase I bet to the number in the description and I'll reply back with all of our available bets. Again, text the phrase I bet to the number in the description and I'll reply back with all of our available bets today.